Hey guys, today I'm filming round 2 of my eyeshadow palette showdown. This was inspired by It's Just Steph. I will have part 1 linked for you, and I feel I did not learn my lesson because the lighting was not perfect, and part of that I feel like is because I'm wearing a white shirt and here I am wearing another white shirt, so please bear with me. I'm also on the floor again. I started out with 92 palettes. Right now I am at 46, so after this I will be down to 23, and boy do I have some really tough pairings here. There's a pairing in particular that is like absolutely breaking my heart, and I wish that I could just switch it out with something else, but I'll let you know when we get there. Right out the gate I have a tough pairing. This is the ColourPop Hocus Pocus Gather Round Sistas palette versus It's Belle Pixie Grove, and I feel like there were an equal amount of looks that I absolutely fell in love with. Both palettes have a couple of dud shades for me. For this one, it's really like this shade was not very good, and then I hate the mattes with glitter in here, but this has more shades. Ooh. I'm gonna pick It's Belle just because the colors are a little bit more special, but this was a really hard one. Next pairing here is super easy. So we have Pat McGrath Rose Decadence versus Cosmic Brushes Winter Wonderland. Cosmic Brushes is winning. I was super impressed by this formula, and of course these are really beautiful shades. It would add some nice variety to my collection, and I really love one of the looks with this palette, but it's just like not amazing. The next pairing is Natasha Denona Metropolis versus Inslee Rain Cold Moon. I have not used Cold Moon yet, but the colors in here are so incredible and stunning, and this looks like such a good cool tone palette, and this is the winner. So Natasha Denona, I think this is a great one. I love how many shades there are. I do think they have a good amount of variety in here. There are several of the creamy mattes, which you guys know is not my favorite formula. A palette I'm happy to have and I paid a lot of money for, but I'm gonna say this is the winner. For my next pairing, I have Lunar Beauty Moonspell versus Sigma Corte Rosa. Sigma is the winner. There are a few looks in here that I really loved, but I was kind of disappointed by the purples in here. Although I love the theme, I love the packaging, but this just has amazing shades, a really great formula. So this is the hands down winner, and really this Belle of the Ball shade, that is what just put it over the top for me. My next pairing would be Kaleidos Club Nebula versus Sigma New Mod, and Sigma's going to be the winner. I'm going to get more use out of this, and I really went back and forth with this for a little while because this would add some nice variety, but I just don't use that top row very much, so I'm gonna go with the Sigma, but this is great quality. This next pairing is another challenging one, Huda Beauty New Nude versus ColourPop Rudolph. I used a lot of these shades. There was one look in particular that I fell in love with, but with this palette I know there were more looks that I enjoyed. I haven't used this in a while, but I just remember this being really good, so I am going to keep this one. Next we have Odin's Eye Flora Story versus Glaminatrix Nearly Natural. Glaminatrix is the winner. I love the formula of the shimmers and the mattes in here. With the Odin's Eye, I do not like the mattes. I found them really hard to work with, but the shimmers were quite nice. My decision on this next pairing might surprise you. We have the Adept Cosmetics and Heather Austin palette versus the ColourPop Liz McGuire What Dreams Are Made Of. ColourPop is the winner. I just really fell in love with these looks, and while I really like these shades, I don't quite remember any particular look that I was in love with. Next we have Huda Beauty Pretty Grunge versus Unearthly Fall Magic. Unearthly is going to be the winner. I think that Huda has a great formula, but this is a palette that I really regret buying. I really needed to spend a little bit more money at the end of the year to hit Rouge, but then after I made this purchase I bought something else, and I probably could have returned this and been fine. I really wish that I had, because I only got it 20% off, and I don't really wear a lot of like gunmetal-y silvery shades, but yeah, this is the easy loser, and I really like the Fall Magic. Great formula, and there were a couple looks in here that I was absolutely in love with. Next is Natasha Denona Yucca versus the Natasha Denona Glam Face Light palette. I'm going to pick the Glam Face Light. I was so impressed with the metallic shadows in here and the highlighter. And again, like I said, with this one, I feel like a lot of the mattes are pretty similar. I don't like the smell. I hate that this is one of these creamy matte shadows. I feel like that is not easy to work with a transition shade like that. This is challenging because I really loved a lot of the looks, but I'm gonna go with this one, and reminds me I need to pull this out more. Next we have It's Belle Dawn of Fall versus Give Me Glow Two Moods. Two Moods is the winner. I love this palette. The quality is amazing, and I really love these type of shades. This is an all shimmer palette, which doesn't really bother me, but I have I used all the shades in here? I can't remember. And we have Too Faced Teddy Bear versus It's Belle Cosmetics Flare. I've not used Flare yet. The shades look very pretty, but this is an incredible neutral palette. Super underrated, but I was really happy with the colors and the formula, so this is the winner. Next we have Glaminatrix Rich Romantic versus It's Belle Cool Summer. Glaminatrix is the winner. It's what I'm wearing to my eyes today. I love that these are colorful shades, but they're still a bit more wearable than these. These are super bright for me, but I was pretty happy with this formula. I think this is my hardest pairing by far, and the one that really breaks my heart. Okay, so this is Fantasy Cosmetica Bard versus Sugar Drizzle Sugar Dreams. These two, the pinky shade and the peachy pink right below it right there, make me want to pick this palette. And I like the other shades, but I don't love them as much as those. And with this palette, I love all of the shades in here. If I could have like one fall palette, this is what I would pick. It has all the colors I would want. I love the amount of shimmers and mattes. So gosh, this is tough. I wish this was going against something else, but I have to give it to the Bard palette. Next is another really tough one for me. This is ColourPop She's Got Solstice versus Natasha Denona My Dream. I'm really drawn to these peachy shades. But they're similar to Sweet Talk, and there's more variety here. Okay, I'm gonna pick this one. I'm picking this one. Oh gosh, that hurts me. I'm picking this one. And the reason I'm doing that is because my next pairing has ColourPop Sweet Talk in it, and of course I'm picking this, and this was not hard at all. I mean, this would have beat out a lot of palettes, but it is going against Sigma Enchanted, which is definitely a neglected palette of mine. The shimmers are so light, and a lot of the mattes are so dark that on my skin tone and my preference, I would just use those on the lower lash line. So if there were lighter mattes in here, I think I would like this one a little bit more. So this is staying. The next pairing is really tough as well. This is Sigma Ambiance versus Odin's Eye Snow Dream. I was initially thinking I was gonna pick this because there's a bit more variety, but I think I'm gonna go with Ambiance. This shade Marigold is incredible. And I don't know. Okay, I changed my mind. I'm gonna pick this one. There is just more variety here, and there were more looks I loved with this one. Oh, that's hard. For my next pairing, I have ABH Carly Bible versus Glamlight Dirty Martini. Glamlight is the winner. I'm so impressed with these. I think they did a great job coming up with some variety for being an all green palette. I was really impressed with the shimmer formula, and I like this green palette more than I like the Yucca, which is something that I passed on. And this has like pretty shades and formulas, but definitely need to reach for this one more. Next we have What's Up Beauty Dragon Eye versus Lunar Beauty Nude Prism. Dragon Eye is the winner. I told you guys in part one that some of these mattes really need to be built up, which is annoying to me, but this palette is just incredible. The shimmers are so multi-dimensional. The mattes are so easy to work with. This is easily the winner. Next pairing would be Inslee Rain Lands of Enchantment versus Kaleidos Flower Punk. Inslee Rain is winning, and I've never used this before, but of course there's more shades in here. Look amazing. Out of this palette, I really love these grungy shades here. I think these are just fine. And these last three pairings were all a little bit challenging. So I have got the Odin's Eye and Judy Red Dragon palette versus Huda Beauty Naughty Nude. I'm going to give it to Judy's palette. I really fell in love with the looks I created with this one. I really like a lot of the looks with here as well, but my heart is just saying I need to pick the Odin's Eye. Next we have Natasha Denona Sunrise versus Adept Cosmetics House of L. I'm gonna pick Adept, and I, again, really loved a couple of the looks I created with this. This will add some nice fun and variety to my collection. I do think that these are nice, like wearable, colorful shades, but I'm gonna have to give it up to Adept. I'm really unsure about this last one. So this is Kaleidos Lunar Lavender, and it is going up against Inslee Rain Flower Moon. I haven't used this one yet either. This has more shades. They're really special and unique. There's way too many shimmery greens. I think I'm gonna pick this palette though, because these have some of the best purple mattes that I've ever used. I have had such a hard time finding other ones that build and blend nicely, and I love these two shimmer shades as well. So I'm actually going to give it to this palette. So those are the 23 winners, but for the next showdown, I need to have an even amount of palettes. So out of all the ones that I chose as a loser, these were the 6 that were the hardest for me. And I would love to have you guys vote, but I'm going to be filming the video, the next one, before you see this one, so it's not going to work out. But I will just show them all to you right now. ColourPop, she's got Solstice. It's crazy how many of these are ColourPop. Also, the Rudolph palette, which I feel I can pass in comparison. The Gather Round Sisters, which may be Sigma Ambiance. Then Inslee Rain Flower Moon. And Sugar Drizzle Sugar Dreams. I narrowed it down to the 4 of these, but going with my gut, I'm gonna pick Sugar Drizzle Sugar Dreams. I've just been really obsessed with that, especially over the past week as I wore my 2 favorite shades again. So I am going to add that back to the pile. So now I've got 24 palettes, and the final video, I'm just gonna have all the rounds from 24 all the way to 1. And we'll see how chaotic that is, but I'm excited. I hope that will be fun. I want to thank you all so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye, guys.